Alrighty, I think we are live. I am in a coastal town on the east coast of South Africa, and I'm using a Wi-Fi that's not the fastest and the best, but welcome nonetheless to the 360 Live. It's Saturday. Where are we? 14th of December, and I'm happy to announce that I'm already on holiday. Nice and early, out with the family on the east coast of South Africa. Actually, about 20 minutes drive from where my parents live, which is fantastic because we don't see them often these days, and it's going to be great to be catching up with them over the next few days. I hope you guys are keeping your eyes on the cricket happening around the world. Lots going on with New Zealand and England battling it out over there in Hamilton. I saw England opting to bowl first, same as with Australia, India. Also, whoever won the toss, they decided to bowl first. So what is it with test matches these days? Guys deciding to bowl first. And then obviously also South Africa and Pakistan guys. South Africa winning last night. Wonderful performance by Reeza Hendricks and Reeza Hendricks, who chased down a mammoth total set up by Pakistan, 200 plus. Thought they did fairly well, but playing at Supersport Park, Centurion, I know it's always very difficult to defend there, especially in the evenings as the ball slides on a bit. In other news, guys, in personal news, with me, my fingernails are red. Uh, Technical issues. Apologies about that. I hope I'm back. I've connected to my phone now. I think that'll be better than the Wi-Fi. I'm not sure where we left off and what you guys heard. Anyway, I'll let you know that my fingernails are red. Every year from the 1st of December, my wife likes to play a little game with the elf on the shelf. As we know, we are approaching Christmas time. And yesterday, or last night, my wife came up with a fantastic idea with regards to putting the elf on the side of the windowsill, and then he left a little message there saying, "Go have a look at your dad's fingernails." Ha ha ha. So the idea with that is that the elf got up at night, painted dad's fingernails red, and then flew off. So the elf's responsibility is to keep an eye on the kids, and if they're well behaved, and that will determine what kind of gifts and presents they will be getting for Christmas. So a fun little family game that we play. My wife gets quite creative with that. And here I am with red fingernails today. So the kids are about to wake up and they're going to enjoy dad's red fingernails. Anyway, lots of cricket happening, guys. Let's move on to South Africa and Pakistan. As I see, we got a question about Reeza Hendricks, the ideal man for that situation last night for South Africa. I loved watching the game. I thought it was a fantastic game of cricket by both teams, as it was a batting feast. I think both bowling attacks, a little bit, I won't say inexperienced, because we have Shaheen Afridi and Haris Rauf on the Pakistan side. But other than that, not a lot of experience there. And same with the Proteas setup, not a lot of experience. But guys, the highlight of the night, by the way, sorry, just coming back to Reeza Hendricks. Yes, I think he's a wonderful player. I think he can play all formats of the game. It's been a bit unlucky to have lost form at a bad time with regards to the longer versions or longer formats of the game, but T20s is still flying. We haven't seen him in Test cricket, but he is the ideal middle order batter in the Test side. Unfortunately, no spot for him right now there, as the Proteas are flying in that format and doing really well, top of the charts with the WTC log. Let's talk about this guy on the screen, this graphic, 117 of 63. As we know, he's got number 17 on his back as well, so I already like him for that. Guys, when Reeza Hendricks gets going, it doesn't get much better than that. He makes the game look so easy. He's an absolute class act. He lost a bit of form last season, especially in that SA20. But I love watching this guy play. I think he's a wonderful, wonderful player, great prospect for the future. He is not that young anymore, but he's also not that old. So I still feel he's got a few years left in him. But opening the batting, what a wonderful player he is. When he gets going, it really is fluent, it's elegant, and he makes it look really, really easy. Good cricket shots, right? He plays a lot of straight bat shots over the covers. And go and look at the highlights of this innings, guys. It is absolutely phenomenal. I didn't like the way he got out at the end. I love it when batters take responsibility at the back end of an innings. When you're at 100 not out, just finish the game. Don't give it up to someone else to come in and bat under a bit of pressure. So there was a small little window of opportunity for Pakistan. They were close to grabbing that as 1 or 2 balls just dropped short of fielders. And then, I mean, all of a sudden, you need 20 of 10 balls and there are 2 new batters at the crease. South Africa got very close to that situation last night. So, Reeza, if you're listening, please finish up the games when you're in. Luckily, we had Rassie there to finish the game as Heinrich Klaasen came in. Looked a bit scratchy, which is completely normal when you face your first few balls under a bit of pressure. Nothing to gain. All you can do is lose the game in that situation because the game was basically won. But we haven't crossed the line at that time yet. So there was a bit of weird pressure on Klaasen to make things happen. Luckily, got 1 pass point, which sort of clinched it. But well played, Rassie. Well played, Reeza. And congratulations to the Proteas. They now move to the Wanderers for the final T20 international before they play a few ODIs and then straight into the test matches. Big 2 test match series coming up for South Africa. Not so much for Pakistan. But South Africa top of the charts there, as I mentioned, with the WTC. They just need a solid series to clinch that spot at the top and qualify for the finals, which will happen next year at Lords 2025. Exciting times that. Let's pull up a graphic then with the WTC 20 final as we have a look at that log there, guys. You can see South Africa clearly at the top, and they've performed really well. Sri Lanka knocked out now. It's just the top 3 that have a chance: South Africa, Australia, India. And we did cover a little bit of the WTC in this week's 360 show. If you haven't watched that show, go check it out. Also, the Hindi version was released. Gajab, thank you very much for being a super fan. Appreciate you. I just came here to say I love your Hindi show. Thank you. I find it so entertaining, guys, and I don't know what I'm listening to always. As you guys know, I'm upfront and honest about everything, transparent. It's not me. It is an AI software app that we use to get my Hindi out there. But I end up finding myself watching the whole show at home in Hindi. I find it so entertaining and it's so well done, as my lip sync is absolutely spot on with what's coming out of my mouth. So it's incredible what technology can do these days. And who knows, maybe I do pick up on a bit of Hindi down the line. So give me a bit of time with that. I'll work on it. I'll put the hard yards in and hopefully get it clinched soon. Let's move on to Travis Head, guys. He's been in scintillating form over there in the Aussie India series. That is the Border Gavaskar Trophy that they play there. What do you think? What's your RCB mate, Travis Head, and his mindset? I love the way he plays. I think he's a bit shaky in the first 10 to 20 balls in Test cricket. He needs to work on that. I spoke about him having to plant that back foot. Make sure that back foot is your anchor. It's crucially important in all formats of the game to have a steady back foot, especially against pace bowling. I always felt like when I was out of form, I almost lifted up a bit soon with my heel, and that's where you get squared up. And Travis is a little bit naughty of that in his first 10 to 20 balls, where that back foot is a bit all over the place. He jumps a bit to the leg side. He's quickly onto his toes. I just want him to anchor that back foot a bit better and almost play with your weight backwards and forwards into the ball. I think he can be a lot more solid, but from there on, when he gets in, he is unstoppable, guys. He scores at a quick rate, which is fantastic. And I often alluded to bowlers wanting to keep their catches in for longer periods of time in Test cricket, where Travis forces you to get those catches out because he really punishes you with the scoring rate. And when you look up, you see Australia going at 4 or 5 runs and over. At some point, you have to go like, hold on, we need to be a bit more defensive here because we are leaking runs. And so that's what Travis Head brings to the party. Is in that middle order, the ball gets a bit older, and he really keeps the captain and the bowling attack on their toes. And it's very quick for a bowler to go like, Captain, I need some catches out there. I need them on the boundaries because this guy's hurting us. I don't want to go at 5 or 6 runs and over in a test match. We need to keep the game steady because that is one of the secrets of Test cricket, especially when you're in the field. Dot balls, and slow scoring rate builds the pressure on the batters. And we've always spoken about investment sessions when I was playing. And Graham Smith often said, I don't care if we get naught or 1 wicket in the session, let's just keep it tidy, knowing that that built-up pressure brings you a cluster of wickets. Wickets 2, 3, 4, 5 happen in an instant. So that's the game of cat and mouse that Travis Head plays with the bowlers and the captain, because they know they need to invest. Yes, they want to get him out, but what he forces the bowlers to do is to get the catches out. So when they ultimately finally nick him off through third slip, there's no third slip anymore. So that's what really makes him good. He really pushes it. My predictions for the Gabba, let's have a look, guys. Brisbane, there was a lot of rain over there in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. As I see a question here, what are your predictions for the outcome of the third test match between India and Australia? My prediction is a lot of rain. Very disappointing first day, as we just had a little bit of cricket. I think it was 20-something odd without a loss for Australia. India winning the toss, deciding to field first. I spoke about that earlier. England also winning the toss in Hamilton, deciding to field first, sent New Zealand in, same thing. So there must be a bit of juice in this wicket, but a steady start nonetheless for Australia. And I think with the rain around on day one, it might make it a bit tricky on day two, the morning session for Aussie. And if they start well, they can find a way to put India under a bit of pressure. From past experiences at Brisbane, it is a wonderful, wonderful wicket to play cricket on as a batter. It's very true. It's a fast deck. But with the rain around, it might take a little bit of pace off, which I feel will play in the hands of Australia. When you take a little bit of pace off with the new ball, that Brisbane wicket tends to, after day 2 or 3, it really flattens out. Yes, it gets flat, but it gets faster. And Australia have fast bowlers, so it might play into their hands. I can't predict what's going to happen here, but I might say a draw. It would be nice to see a draw in Test cricket for a change as well. I love the results, but it might just settle things down a bit. 2 results straight up between Australia and India. Now just maybe a draw, reset for both teams, and move forward. So there's my prediction. Shiva, I'm predicting a draw in the third test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. All right, let's pull up a super chat. I like my super fans, and I really appreciate you. Sarit, your views on SA playing less matches in the WTC and still favourites to qualify for the final. Isn't it injustice to other teams? WTC format questionable. I fully agree. I won't have a go at South Africa. I'm South African, and I feel they deserve their spot at the top of the log. No, but to be 100% honest, I don't feel it's fair what's happening with this format, and I do feel it's questionable. You want to know going into the finals of the WTC that the best 2 teams are playing. And can we honestly say that? Maybe, but I don't like a maybe. I want to say for sure. Those are definitely the top 2 teams that should be qualifying. Now, there's a lot of teams that haven't played against the stronger teams throughout the season. And I would like for the ICC to find a more consistent and a more fair system. So there's absolutely no doubt about it. I do feel the teams that are on the top still deserve it. With this system that's in place, I do feel the system needs to change. And that's my honest opinion. As I told you guys many times before, I'm always transparent. And it is what it is. I'm being honest when I say I don't feel it is a fair system. So hopefully they tweak it. Hopefully we find a way where all teams play against each other before they find a final. In an ideal world, you want all teams to play, all teams at home and away from home. So I want South Africa to play Australia, England, India, everyone at home and away from home. Yes, that might take time. Maybe it'll take 3 or 4 years before you get a final. And maybe that's not a bad thing. Have it like a World Cup. Every 4 years you have this final, but then it's going to be absolutely fair. We know the top 2 teams are the deserved finalists. So very interesting question there, and I really appreciate that, Sarit. I think it's absolutely spot on, and hopefully the ICC finds some answers. And move on to the next one. Travis Head once again comes up versus Rishabh Pant. Who is better? That's difficult. Luckily for me, they don't bat in the same positions. Yes, in Test cricket, but I feel Pant is more of a middle order batter, where I feel Travis is more of a top 3 batter. So they're not completely similar. Yes, they both are very attacking, and they love taking the bowling on. Maybe they are a little bit similar. I was trying to get away from this question. Okay, I'll pick Pant in T20s. Let's pull it up in formats, different formats. Punt in T20s, Travis in ODIs because he scored that match-winning 100 in the final of the World. Why am I on? Apologies. Just let me know if you guys can hear me, please. I think my mic muted for some reason. We have some technical difficulties today. Apologies for that, guys. But let's go with, as I said, Travis said, in ODIs, punt in T20s, and let's go with head for Test cricket for now. Yes, that's my answer. Let's pull up the new one, guys. I'm trying to get away from that question. It's tough to pick between players. I have a tournament final in 3 days, 2 days from now. It's a T20 tournament, and I'm very nervous. Do you have any advice on how I can surpass my nerves? Yes, I do have some advice. It is absolutely normal. You are human. I literally shake before I went out to bat. Very often, I got butterflies, couldn't sit still. I was a very nervous batter before I went out to bat, and my advice would be just relax. It's okay. Well, not relax because it's difficult to relax, but I guarantee you the minute you walk out there, you will feel at home and things will slow down and you will feel a lot better. So just take it in your stride. Try and get a focus away from the game. Stare at some of the advertising boards or the surroundings, some trees. Play some games with a ball, perhaps throw it on the wall. Almost training my ass. I don't know why my mic keeps muting. Apologies, guys. But yes, play with your fingers, take it further away, bring it closer. Try and get your mind off the game as much as possible. But my best advice is just know that it's normal to be nervous. So nothing wrong with that. It's actually sometimes a really good sign. Guys, because of the technical difficulties, I'm really going to cut it short. I hate taking you guys through a ride here on the 360 Live. So bear with me. Apologies for technical issues. It's muting the whole time, so I don't know what's happening. I'm going to cut it short there. I want to wish all of you a wonderful December. I will get my Wi-Fi sorted out because this is not good enough. But thank you very much for joining me on the 360 Live. We're going to cut it right there, and I'll see you guys on the 360 show this coming week. Thanks for joining me. Yes, follow me on socials as per usual. I hope you're loving my red nails. Thanks to my wife and the great system we have. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Love the 360 show and the 360 Live, and I really appreciate all of you. I'll be seeing you in the week. Have a fantastic weekend. Take care.